In this video, I'll show you how to capture perfectly exposed sunset and sunrise photos in 3 easy steps. This is my 3rd drone tutorial in the series, but in the future I'll also be covering travel, wildlife, pets, portraits, photojournalism, events and live music. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe to join me on the journey. Also, my Instagram profile is linked in the description. But that's enough about me. Let's get on with today's video. Welcome and thanks for joining me. Today I'm heading to Malden Promenade to capture the sunset. I'm using AEB mode, auto exposure bracketing, to capture HDR, high dynamic range images. This sounds complicated, but I can assure you it's the easiest technique I've covered so far. It's been a stormy week in Essex. Every stereotype of British weather is playing out in real time, but the forecast for sunset looked good, so I cycled towards the estuary with my fingers crossed. Today I'm using the DJI Air 3, but most drone models have AEB mode. If yours does not, don't worry, as it can be done manually. With the volatile weather, the Air 3's extra weight will help with stability, and I wanted to take advantage of the 3x 70mm telephoto lens that's just fantastic. First things first, make sure you are in photo mode and select AEB. There is an option for 3 or 5 images. I prefer to capture 5 and advise you do the same, as long as your SD card has the space. Check exposure is set to 0. Once you have that set up and you are happy with the composition, take the shot. Be aware the drone will capture the 5 images in quick succession, but it will take some time to process. I always advise not to move the drone until it is complete. If we take a look at the edited image, you can see it is well balanced despite the harsh lighting. Let's take another. Once again, there's great balance between the lightest and darkest parts of the image. Lastly, I'll take a photo using the 1x lens. Looking good. I did intend to do a breakdown of this mode at the prom, but unfortunately the weather turned up this last shot, so instead here is a windswept view over Malden. Let's break down what is happening when using this mode. With the 3 shot, the drone will take the first image 1 stop under normal exposure, 1 stop over, and 1 at normal levels. In 5 shot mode, it will instead take the first image 2 stops under, 1 stop under, normal exposure, 1 stop over, and finally 2 stops over. This can be done with regular cameras too, even if you don't have AEB or HDR modes. Just use a tripod and manually alter the exposure between photos. So to clarify, the auto exposure bracketing refers to the exposure range of the shot, and the high dynamic range is the final image after merging. I hope that all makes sense. Now let's move on to the editing. Doing things a little differently today. This is a 3 bracketed shot I captured recently that perfectly illustrates the method. The first is the image you would get in regular photo mode. The sensor is trying to balance the lightest and darkest parts of the image, but because the dynamic range is too great, it is struggling. Also, the darkest areas are too dark as a result. The second photo is underexposed by 1 stop, which will help reduce the blown out areas in the sky, but at the sacrifice of the foreground. If I increase the exposure to show the foreground, it's far too noisy, and when balancing this part, the sky will be unusable. In the third image, the foreground is less noisy and better exposed, but the sky is once again far too bright. You can recover, to some extent, underexposed areas, but if it is over, there isn't anything that can be done to fix this. So the auto exposure bracketing mode will take multiple images to help balance the brighter and darker areas, and when merged together, hopefully create an all-round balanced photograph. To do this, shift left click, right click, photo merge, HDR merge. It will only take a few seconds to create the preview, and already you can see the image looks much better. There's a few options on the right hand side. Leave create stack as it is. Deghosting is only necessary if there's a misalignment between shots. Apply auto settings will edit the photograph. Finally, auto align will ensure the image is matched. When you are happy, click merge. There isn't much data to process, so it won't take long. There is now a fourth image at the bottom, which is the merged photograph. And when I reduce the exposure, the image will turn completely black. This means there is no longer any overexposed parts. I'll just make some small changes to the shadows, turn up the vibrance and saturation. Check the white balance. Auto looks too cold, so I'll leave it as it is. Comparing to the image I would have captured normally, you can see it's made a huge difference. I'll just remove this gentleman in the corner as the high vis is distracting. Under the rubber icon, hold down the left mouse button and highlight the area. Doesn't need to be perfect. This tool has advanced greatly in recent years. One last thing to consider, occasionally you will find a white border around the image where Lightroom has stacked them together. This happens if they didn't align perfectly. Just remember to check when cropping to avoid this staying in the final image. Not an issue in this case. Let's take a look at the final result. Just briefly, it's worth noting HDR and AEB have their uses in daytime photos also, especially on bright days with direct sunlight. In this example, the method and results are the same. The regular photo, one underexposed and the other over. I've already processed and edited, so let's take a quick look. Much better all around. Here's another couple of shots before and after. I wanted to give a quick thanks to everyone who has watched, commented, liked and subscribed over the past 2 weeks. I've been blown away by the response, and it's given me great drive to create more, both for myself and for the channel. When I stopped working as a press photographer in 2020, I felt lost for some time, creatively and professionally, especially with how the world was back then. But returning to my roots as a photographer, adding drones to my kit and starting a YouTube channel has changed my life. So thanks again, it means a great deal. If there is any aspects of photography you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments. I am also looking to travel abroad to capture landscapes and wildlife soon. Any recommendations would be appreciated. If you would like to know how to capture photos at any height, or how to make your drone time travel, please click the links on the screen now. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.